section B, I will first be exploring three movements from my convention, which is miming with the fan through the body. And then I will be experimenting with a traditional performance material with my convention. So those are the three movements from my convention that I will be exploring in the first section of my section B. The first one is kneading noodles and then using the bacchus and then clipping plants. So my first exploration is eating noodles. Before practice, I was eating noodles like this. As you can see, my body is leaning too forward and tilting too to the front, which my focus will be leaning too forward on the noodles and my bowls. So after I took pictures and took videos of myself practicing, I found my problem here, that my back is leaning too forward. So I should keep my back straight. So now I eat noodles like this. As you can see, my back is very straight and the focus is very centered. My next exploration is using the abacus. Using the abacus before practice is having the same problem similar to eating noodles, which is also leaning my back too forward and focusing too much on the abacus and my hands. At first, I use the abacus like this. As you can see, my back is also leaning too forward. So here I took a video of myself, and here I want to mimic the posture of sitting and using the abacus on the person's lap. So right now I'm using the abacus with my focus more centered in the sitting position while I'm kneeling in this Rakugo position. Here, after practice, I use the abacus like this. My third exploration is clipping plants. Clipping plants have to do with the use of opening and closing the fan with one hand, like this. At first, I couldn't do it with one hand. So I watched a video from Yi from Bilibili, and he taught that opening and closing the fan with only one hand, you should be putting your hand at slightly forward of the fan rather than at the very end of the fan. So here I can clip my plants like this. The overall movement would be like this. Now onto my experimentation of my traditional performance material. My traditional performance material is a performance called Beans. This story tells the story about a servant boy stealing beans from his master's home. And these are the three moments that I am portraying in this performance material. The first moment is when the boy discovered the beans in the pot and tries to open the lid of the pot to see what is inside. The original performance did not use a fan, so I developed my own way of using the fan in this moment. My first exploration is like this. Whoa, beans! In this exploration, I opened the lid of the pot completely with my fan going this way. However, I think that the boy should be more sneakily and secretly looking at the beans in the pot. So I think that he should not be opening the lid of the pot completely. He should be peeking in like this. Oh, beans! Now onto my second experimentation. The second movement that I have chosen is when the boy was scooping beans out of the pot. He uses the fan as a rice scooper and takes the bean out like this. I noticed that in my first experimentation, I am scooping a large amount of beans onto the plate on my hands. However, the boy is secretly stealing beans from his master's pot, so he should not taking so big amount of beans into his plate. So instead, I had more control over my hand movements and took fewer beans from the pot to my plate, and I performed it like this. This movement is more controlled in taking a small amount of beans to the plate. My third moment is when the boy was trying to taste the beans from his plate. The original moment displayed it like this, with the bare hands touching the beans. With the use of fans, I believe that he can do so. However, the boy is taking very hot beans from his plate, so instead he should be using the fan as a chopstick since he cannot handle the beans with his own hands. My second trial is like this.